Oh, AI recommendations get considered. Friends' recommendations get acted on. So your word of mouth marketing is more valuable than ever. Every episode, one clear idea to grow your personal brand and own the camera. Produced on water and land. And yes, we're going to be talking more than just word of mouth, because I'm sure you know what that is. You are growing your personal brand and you are doing it day in, day out, and you know what word of mouth is. So we're going to spur on this conversation that I had with Sarah through the Instagram DMs. And essentially she was coming to me because her question was, how do I make my business more recommendable when people are just going to be using AI to find answers? And it's another thing that I have to learn how to manage, how to do, and I'm just frankly over it. I get it. And I'm going to tell you now, no matter what tool is recommended to you, no matter what change is recommended to you, they follow where the attention is, they follow where the people are. So these algorithms that control our social media feeds, these AI tools that are being used everywhere, these are going to be driven by people's need for to get clicks, to get engagement. That's what they're going to be there. And of course, everything has the underlying feeling of profit motives underneath it. We're not going to talk about how these AI companies have not turned a profit, but we'll talk about that later. So of course, everything, especially in growing a personal brand, you are trying to become more rememberable. You're trying to become recommendable by people. And that's the thing, you're being recommended by people. Now, of course, a lot of tools, very much like HubSpot and various other tools on the internet, are working on making the AEO aspect of what you do a lot more searchable. AEO, very much like, I may sound like I'm a transformer going, AEO. No, it's not that. Little tangent there. It's very much the artificial version of SEO, which is search engine optimization. And realistically, we've been doing this for about 30 years, or as long as I've been alive. The SEO aspect of what people have been doing is trying to be found by people who are searching for them. Now it is slightly shaken up, not fully. The foundations are still in place and the foundations still work when it comes to anything that has to do with becoming memorable, be it SEO or AEO. The foundations still need to be in place. It's just a lot of the tactics that used to work now no longer work because the shift has happened. But when it comes to being found more readily, these AI tools are going to continue to advance and change. But realistically, they're still going to follow the same premise as I mentioned before about how they follow the humans, they follow the attention, because the attention of humans is a finite resource. And the money that they are willing to give to those things that are holding their attention is also a finite resource. We can always put more money in the economy, but it's never, I'm told by economists, it's not a good idea. So when it comes to trying to get more word of mouth referrals without really relying on old methods that may not work anymore, outdated methods, there is a feeling of we must bend the knee to AI. Now, as I'm going to say this now, I am not a wholly let's burn down AI. Now, do I love that it is being invested by governments all over the world over, say, healthcare? No. But then again, there's a lot of things that I question about governments and I have opinions about. But we're not going to talk about that because we are here to talk about branding. When it comes to AI, these tools are going to be used by people regardless. Why? Because it is easy. And right now it is cheap. It is not going to stay that way, but the mentality is there. The habits are being formed predominantly on purpose so that these tools are then relied on, and as you can imagine, then more money will flow eventually later, hopefully on. That's where a lot of these AI companies are hoping. But it's to face reality, it is being used by people, and people are still searching for information about you using these tools. Now, a lot of these tools, the information that they have is wildly outdated. And if you have made a pivot or a change recently, and when I say recently, within the past 2 to 3 years, you are still going to be showing up as the older things that you used to be in. I do not want you to be scared by that. I don't want you to be put off by that. It can feel quite annoying, but it is going to change. It is going to adapt. It is a case of the proactive things that you can do in the work that you do is making sure that you follow these foundational basics of marketing, that you are consistent, that you are focusing on addressing the problems and providing your solution. You are giving the answers both to humans who are searching for those answers, as well as the AI tools who are searching on behalf of these humans. A lot of these AI tools are still going to continue to develop and continue to change, and there will always be people constantly pushing the latest fad change that needs to happen. But a lot of them still rely and fundamentally still need to rely on those same foundations, which of course we work on at the Video Confidence Coach. These foundations are who are you talking to? Why are you talking to them? What is the problem that you're solving? And how are you going to, and what is a recognizable way of doing that so that people understand and recognize that it's you? A lot of these AI search tools, like Google, like essentially, and a lot of these chatbots as well, always have a focus of people type in a question, people type in a problem, and a very few amount of people are actually giving a lot more data and information to be able to extrapolate and create really complex informations and briefs, because a lot of this work is meant for corporates or things where there's a very clear delineation next step. But I digress. The reason that I say that is because I feel like I'm going onto some tangents when it comes to AI, because there is potential. It's just not going to be used that way, like a lot of things are. And do I like how it is? It's not great for the environment, but there's a lot of things in this world that aren't really great for the environment. And I think the work that can be done with a lot of AI is just, I'd say 85% of the world stuff that's being made with AI doesn't need to be made with AI. It can be made with humans, professionals really easily. These platforms, whichever you're using, and of course I'm not going to name them because you already have them in your head, these platforms will steer you to what they want you to see. And if you want to be found on these platforms, you need to be the obvious choice, dare I say, with my tagline. You need to be that obvious choice because word of mouth still wins and trust is still being run on it. And when it comes to word of mouth, and a lot of these AI search tools are relying on multiple pieces of information. It used to be in the golden age of Google search, Bing search, whichever platform you were using, they would point you to a direction of a website, usually that had built credibility either over time or updated information, or Google did its best to have pieces of information, but it wouldn't be very extensive. It would just be like, this website's credible because of these backlinks and various other SEO tactics and tools. Well, AI does that, but another 3 or 4, maybe even 8 steps beyond that by pulling in pieces of information. And to be seen on these tools, you need to improve your word of mouth skills. You need to improve your ability to capture testimonials and reviews. Have people have opinions about what you do and what you say on different platforms, because that is what these AI tools are doing. They're pulling information from various different tools to come up and formulate with a result. Now, is this result usually wrong? Yes. Is this result usually made up of amalgamation of things that are both wildly out of date and somewhat current? Yes. Are people relying on this to make decisions? Yes. Now, are they doing it to make, like, say, a $5,000 plus decision? Probably not. They're going to do a bit more research. And with the money that means more to them, they're going to do more in-depth research. But you still need to be in that mix to be ultimately picked as that obvious choice. I want you to pick a role. I'm going to give you 2 options. I'm going to give you 2 options. These 2 options, I want you to be a referral generator, or I want you to be the hidden gem people stumble upon. So when it comes to those 2 options for you, both do require human input. Both require you to work on those foundations, have a really clear idea of who you help, why you help them, and the problems that you solve. Having a really clear idea. The solution almost doesn't matter to a point because you can speak the language that these people need to hear. They need to understand that you understand where they're coming from. Therefore, you can give them a solution that they need. And with those 2 options, the referral generator or the hidden gem, these are going to be seen by AI tools and they're going to be exploited that way. But to keep those little points of data constantly circulating about the work you do on AI, you need to be getting those work out there. You need to be constantly putting yourself out there, which I know is very exhausting, can be very tiring. But there are definitely methods that you can do to make it more fun for yourself. And with your audience in mind, you can be where they are looking. And the work that you do is the referrals that you can build with humans, with businesses, with contacts, is because it's not that just that those contacts will then rave about you on reviews or Trustpilot or Google or what have you, or will, talk about you and the data points will be there for AI. It's because those referrals are what people will ultimately trust. Yes, the AI will give them a result, and I think it's something like 1 out of every 5, they're not going to go past that AI amalgamated result. But if they want a true answer to their situation, especially if it is a unique situation or if it's a situation that doesn't commonly happen and they need to talk to an expert, they're going to do a bit more digging. And then when you turn up, because of all the work that you've done, not just online, but in person, you have the proof to show, you are constantly repeating yourself through repurposing. You can do that with both intention and plan. And then you are there. You are being showcased as that option, not just on search engines, not just in AI tools, but by the people who have worked with you. Because you want to make it easy for the right people to find you. And you want to make it easier for the people to recommend you. A lot of the times, and feel free to cast your minds back when you were last chatting with either some family or some friends, and you were talking about a problem that you had. And there was a little bit of back and forth and a little bit of just like, oh yeah, I had that problem around your age, or something along the lines of, oh, that sounds like a pain. What have you done to fix it? Then you've gone through like, oh, I looked up this, I talked to ChatGPT, or I did this. And of course, you're going to have various conversations about like, oh, don't trust those things, or yeah, that's not the right answer. There's going to be discussions, as you would all the time. But I want you to really focus on then the answer that they're going to give you. Once you get past all the jibber jabber and talk, of course, because we're humans. They're going to then recommend you someone that they know, someone from their own connections, maybe someone that they work with or worked with in the past, maybe a friend of theirs, or maybe someone that they've seen online. And that is where you come in. If you are focused on the people that you serve, the problem that they're facing, and you are communicating that message and that solution again and again and again and again and again and again, you will be there. You will be seen by these AI tools. You will show up. You'll be seen by the word of mouth that people will have around the dinner table. You will show up. You will be there. And I'm not saying this as a wishy-washy, build trust and people will be there. You will have that because you will have the proof. You will have the years of proof, both online where people can actually verify what you have to say. And feel free to check out our episode about making sure that people can research you and verify what you have to say and what you're about. And doing that bloody easily, please. Please make it easy for people to research you, please. When you're growing a personal brand, please make it easy for people to research you. Just check out the episode that is in the show notes, and you'll find out more there. But this is how the world is playing at the moment. Do I love that these tools that get things wrong most of the time are the ones who are providing that framework for people to make decisions? No. But it's the reality. And you need to be visible. You need to get noticed. You need to build trust and to have the proof to showcase that you know what you're talking about. And to have that word of mouth, that referral ability to happen, you need to remind people that you exist. You need to reach out. And it won't happen if you don't put in that work. If you don't put in that foundational work, the AI isn't going to find you, the people aren't going to find you, and you are going to be forgotten. Why? Because they haven't heard from you. Be this through your own marketing channels or, guest blogs or appearances that you make, both online and in person. You need to be generating those referrals. and those experiences people have of you, both actual experiences, but also just your thoughts and opinions online, your content. That is part of the work that you do. And you need to be consistent with that. Recapping things that we talked about today is AI, whether we like it or not, is shaping discovery. Because the decision is still being made by humans, but that discovery is being, I was about to say help, not supported by those AI tools. Why? Because it is easier. They don't need to do much thinking. That is the reality of it. Do I like it? No, but it is the reality of it. Word of mouth is still the most easiest, most secure way to not just get referrals and repeated income, but to get people to trust and like you and build that community leverage that you need to grow your community, to build your personal brand. And people are going to choose recommendable over just a basic name. If you are recommendable, if someone can say what you do clearly, if someone can say your name so you're searchable, and these AI tools find you as that obvious choice, the strategy and plan will lock in place with everything else that you're doing in your marketing. And if you start now, even though if it is a small step, you are still making more progress than you did yesterday. If you are watching or listening, I would like you to key in these next episodes that I list below. So we've got episode 104 of the Unboring Your Brand podcast, where we talk overriding the AI robots, where we talk about how that AI flood of content is impacting your customers and how that your lived experience is going to win over those algorithms. So we're going to talk a little bit more into those AI aspects yet. And then we're going to talk about episode 52, which is trust, stop selling, start belonging, which is about building that foundational trust behind referring people, building that word of mouth so that because people recommend people they believe and not just who is selling them the absolute hardest. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be not just seen as that obvious choice and forever shine as that obvious choice, but I want you to have a foundation that can do the work for you without you needing to constantly maintain it, constantly update it. And if you are doing those things, to do tiny little tweaks, because humans are the ultimate ones going to be making the decision. I want you to know that. No matter how much AI takes over this world because of profit and greed, humans are going to be making a decision at the end of the day. Be seen and be recommendable by those humans. And if you have been overwhelmed at all by any of the conversations that we've had today, I would love you to book in a disco chat with me. You can find that on my website, the big blue button at the top of the page, where we can have a nice 13-minute chat, which of course we can always go on to have slightly longer chats, because I want to be there to support you. And even though this world of AI is constant and sometimes can feel a bit scary, the newness will definitely pass. The overwhelm will pass because you'll have a strategy and someone backing you up in your corner. Look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. And even if I don't see you, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode and gotten the most out of it. See ya. Show notes and resources are the first link in the description, and the second link in the description takes you straight to something that I think is worth checking out. If you got value out of today's episode, and of course you did, please drop a review on your podcast catcher of choice or however you're listening or watching this podcast. It takes 2 minutes and it really means a lot. Thank you. This podcast was made on Wadawurrung land. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Until next week, show up, be seen, get booked.